Life Audio.
Welcome to the Crosswalk Devotional. We're so glad to have you listening. I'm Lynette Kittle, and today's topic is Taking the Marriage Plunge. We'll be right back after a brief message from our sponsor.
If you owe the IRS or state back taxes or have any unfiled tax returns, business or personal, call me now. 888-881-0790. This is Eric, CEO of Ultimate Tax Group. I have some good news I want to share with you. Us taxpayers can now take advantage of the IRS Fresh Start programs. My team of tax experts will help you resolve your case. We care and fight for our clients. We want you to take your freedom back today. Don't let the IRS take any aggressive actions against you. Call Ultimate Tax Group, 888-881-0790. We have a 5-star and A+ rating. Call now. We'll give you a complimentary $495 value from our direct IRS hotline. Let's call the IRS together to map out a strategy and resolve your case. Get the fresh start you deserve. 888-881-0790. 888-881-0790.
Taking the Marriage Plunge, written and read by Lynette Kittle. Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. Ephesians 5:25. Marriage seemed easier to attain decades ago when high school sweethearts couldn't wait to take the giant plunge into holy matrimony after graduation. Young, hopeful, and optimistic, they weren't really considering all that could go wrong in a marriage or thinking of the fears and changes that could occur. They just fearlessly took the plunge into it, free from overthinking it and the heaviness of countless what-ifs. Also, during World War II, soldiers facing going to war took the plunge and had the opportunity to wed their sweethearts before shipping out, and thank goodness they did too, or many of us wouldn't be here today. Their heartfelt choices to marry before going off to fight helped to keep our nation growing and moving forward, because although thousands of young men would never return from battle, losing their lives in war, many still live on through their wives and children left behind. Sadly, it seems nowadays marriage is too risky of a union for many singles who overthink and fear how it could go wrong, trying to figure out the worst-case scenarios, keeping individuals at a distance from the very thought of saying, "I do." It's paralyzing to countless singles, men and women afraid of missing out or choosing the wrong person, fearful of discovering a spouse isn't as perfect as they first thought, and reluctant to face the unknowns of unexpected struggles and difficulties. They want a surefire guarantee that their spouse-to-be is the right one and will remain who they think they are in the moment. As well, having the world at our fingertips has proven to be a bit overwhelming, with the possibility of finding a mate on the other side of the earth through social media, along with the available endless singles showing up daily on online dating sites, as well as the opportunity to swipe a new date multiple times a day. This global broadening of the dating pool, with a lookout for the next best girl or guy, is keeping men and women from committing, fearful of missing out on their dream person who might just be out there somewhere. Although individuals clamor to join others around the world to take the cold water plunge, and act supposedly proving how gutsy and brave they are still running the other direction when it comes to taking the marriage plunge. During World War II, marriage was trendy because it was fueled by thousands of men facing the possibility of going to war and facing death. In comparison, the risk of marriage seemed far less risky than the risk of war. Still, the commitment to marriage and war seem similar in that, both in wartime and holy matrimony, men are called on to give their all, including their lives, as the Apostle Paul explains in Ephesians 5:25, calling husbands to love their wives, just like Christ loved the church and laid down his life for her. Men giving up their lives for their wives began in the Garden of Eden, as explained in Genesis 2:24. That is why a man leaves his father and mother and is united to his wife, and they become one flesh. Both in wartime and marriage, men are motivated to sacrifice themselves for love, to preserve and hold on to their countries or their marriages, both well worth fighting the battles, enduring the wounds, and triumphing over the struggles. Interestingly, in looking at history and human behavior, there seems to be a correlation between a culture willing to fight for their country and willing to take the marriage plunge, both based on men being willing to lay down their lives. Intersecting faith and life. If single, are you dodging taking the plunge of marriage based on the fear of the unknown and the changes it will bring to your life? If so, ask God to calm your fears and to help you to be willing to give up your life in marriage. Seek to trust God in His creation of marriage and be willing to take the plunge. Further reading, 7 Things Marriage Isn't.
The Crosswalk Devotional is a production of Life Audio and Salem Media. If you liked what you heard today, please take a second to rate and review this podcast in your favorite podcast app so that more listeners like you can find the show. For more faith-filled, inspirational podcasts, visit us at lifeaudio.com.
Jesus wants our fears to launch us toward faith. Then he grins and says, "Do you trust me? Because together we can do this." With Mornings with Jesus, you can start your day in a positive way. Find hope through inspirational stories and scripture. Go to lifeaudio.com or search your favorite podcast app for Mornings with Jesus. You can also download the Abide app for biblical meditations at abide.com.